Mali, you don't make noise. I have meeting now. Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Neha. How are you?
Good, sir. How are you?
Yeah, fine. Doing good. Thank you. Jacob, good afternoon. Yes, Thomas. Good afternoon.
Welcome, sir.
Yesterday, have you joined?
No, sir, I was be outside.
Okay. Lauren, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Is my voice clearly audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Am I visible?
Yes, sir.
Or I switched on my light?
You say visible.
Huh?
You're visible.
Visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then I'll switch off. Okay, shall we wait one more minute? Sharon, good afternoon. Is my PPT visible for you?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Okay, good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon, sir.
So only few slides I'll be discussing today, and then I'll be giving you the demonstrations about few online databases so that you could explore the databases and get the desired informations about the small molecules and the big molecules in terms of the uh, 3D structures of protein, DNA, RNA, and others, right? Okay. So this slide, which you can see that in ligand-based drug design, how we search the compounds from the databases. Yesterday I missed it, right? Because it was hidden slide, so I did not discuss this one. So can you see that here is that my left extreme left is the databases. So databases have that the place where we can store, right? The junk databases. Now these days databases is a dustbin, bin only, right? So whatever we have, we are just putting on the databases, isn't it? But in that, being as a researcher, being a scientist, being a faculty member, being an educator, and being a students, but we need to that desired compound from the databases. Either that compound should be the active form, inactive forms, having the desired properties for being a certain drugs, right? So these things being a like wise persons, we have to find out the compounds which have the desired properties from the databases, right? So we are searching, as you can see that these are the databases, junk things are there, it's not having any meaning, right? What is there, what type of compounds are there, what are those compounds are there, right? Right, it's like you can see that it's a big, huge, crowded compounds are kept in the databases. So being a researchers, we have to search our desired compound, right? Which we are looking for, the non-active. And from that, we need to find that structures found which must show that some structural properties. Yes, so, Jacob,
Yes, sir.
are you asking something?
No, sir.
Okay. So for that, I will be giving the demonstrations about the databases today. So already, in the absence of the structural information of the target, ligand-based methods make use of the information provided, basically work as that inhibitors or the small compound for the target receptors. So these things yesterday I have discussed about few methods and their description type. I hope it's clear for you. Am I audible clearly?
Yes,
Can I
sir.
just unmute? Yes? Or I should raise my voice?
No, sir, you're audible.
Yes?
You're audible, sir.
Okay, fine. So do you have any questions on this, that methods, at least in brief introductions, at least what we do in QSR, what we do in substructure matching, what we do in 2D fingerprinting. Overall, I have discussed these things yesterday, right?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Okay. So already you know that structure, what is that QSAR? Already we have defined this QSAR. I think at that definition level, you are very clear. You must clear on this. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any question?
No, sir.
No. Okay. So we have discussed this all. So now we talk about that, like molecular properties or descriptors, their physiochemical properties, their structural properties. What are those properties? We must know that, right? What are those properties which will be responding towards the biological activity, right? Okay. So QSR is a mathematical equations which correlate wide variety of properties, physiochemical descriptors or properties of the molecules with that activity, biological activity, right? Isn't it? So first we must understand what types of properties are there which is responding to that biological response. right? Biological activity. So thousands of structural properties which may have that relations with that biological response. Are you getting or not? So every drugs have that properties for a particular purpose, for a particular function, you can say. Like if we say that we have fever, we take paracetamol, fever getting reduced. Yes, yes, fever getting reduced. Why? Because the paracetamol have the unique property for the fever, not vomiting, not stomach ache, not others. Are you getting it? Not dehydration, not sore throat, others. Only is having the property. So unique property which are responding for reducing the temperature. Yes. Are you getting or not? So
Yes, sir.
those property we need to understand. Is clear? We are taking any painkiller. We have the stomach ache, taking painkillers. So we are overcoming with that stomach ache. But it doesn't affect on that other type of things, right? Somehow. Because taking medicine, it will affect all the tissues and cells. But the purpose of taking medicine like should be resolved, should be solved, right? So painkiller for stomach ache, right? Paracetamol, right? Like a painkiller, ibuprofen is there, nimosilids are there, right? Isn't it? Acetaminophen is there, right? So these are that salt constituent. So each drugs have their own properties. So this property we must understand, which are responding towards the particular functions. Yes. So these are the intrinsic properties. Intrinsic properties in terms of the molecular volume, connectivity indices, charge distribution, molecular weight, or polar surface areas, right? These are the chemical properties, pK value, log P, solubility, stability. These are different biological property, activity, toxicity, biotransformations, pharmacokinetics properties, pharmacodynamics properties, and many more, because I have many things to say here, like all the physical property, chemical properties, structural property, 2D structural property, 3D structural property, pharmacophore based properties. So many properties are there which molecule have for responding a particular function. Is clear? Is clear?
Yes, sir.
So now here is that in the QSR result we have discussed before, like how to map the atoms into the receptor site. How to map the atoms into the receptor site. This is one of that pharmacophore based methods actually, right? Pharmacophore based methods. 3D QSR method here is we have discussed before, like these methods you can say. Yeah. uh, uh, field this one field based QSR model, steric and electrostatical, and 3D pharmacophore based method. This last two methods, right? Just I want to show you how we are analyzing the things, right? Later stage we'll be discussing in detail. So you can see here the molecule is there, one compound is there, which is surrounded by some cubes. Can you see that? Some cubes are red color, some are blue colors, right? And the right hand side, you can say that some cubes are there, which are like making a surface on atoms of the molecule. Can you see that? Right? Okay. Isn't it? So these are that steric effect, steric electrostatical effect, right? Some are, you can say that this is the yellow color cubes, which is like surrounded with the the atoms are what you say the overlapped, or you can say that cubes are overlapped on atoms. Are you getting or not? So that means that this atoms is this yellow color. You can see the my cursor. Can you see my cursor? these atoms are for not favoring the steric interactions. Are you getting these atoms? And these cubes which are like kept on the atoms, right, is there. These are the visualization methods of the QSR. Final results are there. These are the final result of the QSR visualization, 3D QSR visualization. We'll be seeing this result, right, after doing all the analysis. So these are the favorable regions for the negative charge atom, electrostatical favorable region, negative charge. Maybe the oxygen type of atom will be there, right? Okay, highly acceptor atoms will be there, negative charge atom. These are the favorable region for the positive charge atom. Maybe nitrogen will be there and other will be there, right? So similar way, so some favorable atoms will be there for the binding interaction. Some unfavorable atom will be there for the binding, right? So that's why it is mentioned. And here also you can see that the GQSAR, right? Here you can say that some cubes are there which are representing different favorable and unfavorable regions, which support some atoms which support in binding, which atom which does not support in binding, right? So those things we are mapping, and we have to map their interactions also. How far the interaction is there in terms of that atomic distances, angular distances, torsional distances, in terms of the 4 atoms, in terms of the 3 atoms, in terms of the 2 atoms, and other interactions which are there, even the steric interaction, electrostatical interactions also, right? So good blue contours, good representing good favorable regions is the blue contour. Bad red contours, region for hydrogen bonding, donor and acceptors, hydrophobic, negative groups, positive groups, electrons drawing, and donating group. And then field QSR, you can see here field QSR methods, which are the green and unfavorable yellow steric contours, favorable blue, unfavorable red electrostatic contours, favorable Palm type, this color, and unfavorable cyan, hydrogen bond donor color, favorable red, unfavorable magenta, hydrogen bond acceptor, favorable regions, all also that hydrophobic contours. So this, now you can understand that, you can understand these things like how different color representing their favorable binding and unfavorable binding. Are you getting or not? Okay. So if any drugs have this favorable binding, so that we say that one compounds have 10 atoms, out of 10 atoms 5 atoms are giving that favorable binding, and we have to identify what are those atoms are there, so that finally we can say that for painkiller, these 5 atoms should be there. Are you getting or not? Must be there. It's clear. For painkillers, not clear, right? Okay, fine. I say one compound having 10 atoms. Clear? One compound having 10 atoms. Its compound is not a drug. It's clear. Out of 10 atom, 5 atoms is showing favorable binding properties. Are you getting? Favorable binding properties. It's clear, 5 atoms. And 5 atoms, we need to identify what types of atoms are there. Either it's hydrogen donor atoms, acceptor atoms, polar atoms, positive charge atom, negative charge atom. I say out of 5 atoms, one is hydrogen bond acceptor atom, another is the hydrogen bond donor atom, another is the one polar atom, another is the one negative charge atom, another is the positive charge atom. Right? Just assume that this drug is acting as a painkiller. This compound is acting as a painkiller, responding well for the painkiller. Just assume now, right? These 5 atoms which we have identified, one is acceptor, one is donor, one is polar, one is positive charge, one is negative charge. Is clear? Right? Is acting as a painkiller. Is clear? So for painkiller, any compound must have these 5 properties. It will work as a painkiller, otherwise it won't work as a painkiller. Is clear? Is clear now, Sharon? Is clear now? Yeah, you
Yes,
can.
sir,
Yeah,
it's better.
yeah, unmute it. Yeah.
It's better.
Huh?
But I think when you demonstrate, I'll understand better.
No, no. Here is not like a. I'm not demonstrating, but I say like one compound having 5 atoms is 10
But
atoms.
it's just
Out of 10
the
atoms.
color codes. We have to just understand the color codes, right, sir? That's it.
Okay, color you understood, na? I am just going to design one painkiller type of drugs, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, painkiller type of drugs, and painkiller must have one acceptor atom, one donor atom, one polar atoms, one positive charge atom, one negative charge atom,
Yeah, okay.
right? In our compound, 10 atoms are there. Out of 10 atoms, these are the atoms are available in that. One acceptor atom, one donor atom, one polar atom, one positive charge atom, one negative charge atom, right? And these compounds work as a painkiller and responding well. So what is our conclusion is that painkiller must have these 5 types of atoms, then only it will work as a painkiller, otherwise it won't work. It's clear now for you? Yes?
Sir,
Ah.
so what will be the difference then, like between two different painkillers? Like, if
Two
the same
different?
atoms are there, what's the difference between like two different painkillers? If both the painkillers have same atoms, then what's the difference?
Yeah, that's good questions. So actually in market also, na, painkiller only one constituent is available. Some are other, so you say that some local made drugs are there, right? But only the main constituent is one, acetaminophen. Acetaminophen. Is clear? Others are generic.
Oh, paracetamol.
Huh?
Paracetamol is not painkiller.
No, but what is
Acetaminophen.
acetaminophen?
Acetaminophen.
Okay, fine.
Okay. So just assume that I'm just going to design one painkiller, and painkiller must have 5 atoms, which we must have one donor, acceptor, polar, positive charge and negative charge, right? And we are looking for those type of compounds which must have these 5 type of atoms. If is there, then it will work as a painkiller. If it's not there, that means it will not work as a painkiller. That is only the concept which I'm trying to convey.
Sir, but like just now Thomas also asked me, sir, there are lots of painkillers. So what is the difference then?
Yeah, some echo voice is coming. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, like Thomas just now asked, there are a lot of painkillers now, sir. So how do you differentiate between those types of painkillers? Will have the same properties will it have, or how do you differentiate?
Yeah. So all the painkiller must have the same properties. So that different can be like, if any constituent of any functional groups are different or something, even that all the 5 atoms are available in the compound, right? So each compound will show that different types of effect, but it will work as a painkiller. Some may show that little toxic, some may kill that normal tissues and cells, some will give the side effect and things, right? Isn't it? So those things will be there. Those things will be there, right? That's why we need to identify the best compound, lead compound. We should have that less toxic, more activity value. Are you getting? Later stage we'll be learning this all. Compound which we are looking for must have the less toxic and high activity value. isn't it? We have to maximize the drug activity and reduce the toxicity level. Is clear or not? Is clear? Okay. So you say that here now you can see that this is the negative charge which is favoring in the favorable for the binding. This is the positive charge which is favorable for the binding, and this is the steric effect, these atoms which is favorable for the steric, right? So we have to increase this type of atoms which will be responding for the binding, right? We must look for that. Is clear? Right? So that's why we need to identify the compounds which have this type of atoms. Right? Okay? Even we need to understand that few compounds I will show you, right, in the databases, then only you can understand. Right? Isn't it? So now this pharmacophore modeling, which we are looking for that atomic orientations of drug-like compound, right, into the receptor side. So now you can see that this is the compound ligand, and can you see my cursor? Can you see my cursor?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is the ligand and this is the ligand. This is not the drug, but it may have the drug likeness properties. Ligand is not a drug. Ligand may have the drug likeness properties. Drug is which is available in the market after has gone through all the clinical trials, getting approval till the FDA, NDA, IND and all. That are the drugs. It's clear. Ligand is not a drug. Ligand, we are seeking the drug likeness properties. Right? It's clear?
Yes, sir.
So ligand is here. Is my cursor is visible now? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right? So now you can see that this is the ligand and this is entire things are the receptor, right? Okay. Okay. And how the ligand will orientate, arrange into the receptor side so that their activity will be high, will be more. It should be tightly fit to that active side. And once it fits, we have to see there how it is arranged, how it is fit into the active side. And we have to map their entire dimensions of fitting into the active side in terms of their distances, atomic distances, angular distances, torsional distances, electrostatical distances, or whatever the interactions, and the van der Waal interactions. So these are the actually features of the pharmacophore. Is clear? These are the features of the pharmacophore. So now here you can see here. So pharmacophore is that ensemble of the steric and electronic features that is necessary to ensure that optimal molecular interaction with a specific biological target and to trigger or block its biological response. So pharmacophore features, what are the pharmacophore features are there? Is the pharmacophore features? Number of acidic, you can write it. These are the pharmacophore features which we are looking for the compound. If you have your notebook, you can write it, right? So these are the pharmacophore features: number of acidic atoms, 1, number of basic atoms, number of positive charge atoms, number of negative charge atoms, number of polar atoms, number of non-polar atoms, number of hydrophobic atoms, and number of ring atoms.
I think your screen.
Yes?
Screen is taking for pause.
Yes?
Screen is paused, I think, sir.
I'm not. Pardon?
The screen
Screen
is paused.
is
You cannot see.
paused.
Okay, okay.
Okay now?
Yeah, now.
Okay. So now you can see that here is the pharmacophore feature. What are the pharmacophore features are there? So pharmacophore. So complementary of the ligand should be. Fitting site will be the best complement. Like how this DNA molecules are there, na? Complementary sequences are fitting to each other with the hydrogen bond. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. All the complement base pairs, na? ATCG, right? ATCG's complements are there, na? With the hydrogen
Yes, sir.
bond, right? So once it is fit to that target site, so these are the, you can say, the different color. It's a candy types, right? Can you see? These are the features are there: hydrophobic, hydrogen bond donor acceptors, hydrogen bond donor. This is that positive charge, negative charge due to the ionized atoms. Are you getting or not? Due to that ion. Okay. And I have added the van der Waals aromatic ring atoms and others also, polar atoms, right? So these are the features. So pharmacophore features without a location constraint only indicate the absence or presence of the chemical functions. So I will going to show you some features about this. You can say that these are the pharmacophore features. Hydrogen bond acceptors, hydrogen bond donors, lipophilic hydrogen bond donors, hydrophobic aromatic, hydrophobic aliphatic ring atoms, positive charge atom, negative charge atom, positively ionizable atoms, negatively ionizable. So these are the features are there where we need to identify. So I say that for an anti-cancerous drug, what? Anti-cancerous drug, right? Anti-cancerous drug must have one ring atom, one hydrophobic atom, one hydrogen bond acceptor, and one hydrogen bond donor. Right? What I say? Anti-cancerous medicine
Cancerous.
must have, anti-cancerous tablet must have one ring atom, one hydrophobic atom, one hydrogen bond acceptor atom, one hydrogen bond donor atoms, right? Isn't it? So that anti-cancerous medicine, if that compound, if we identify these four properties, right, then only can be anti-cancerous drug, na? Otherwise cannot be. Cannot work as anti-cancerous drugs, right? If these four atoms are not there. Yes or no? Yes. Right? So we need to identify those atoms and their optimal fit. And then we will look for their toxicity. And then we will look for that how to maximize the activity. Is clear? Is clear? So these are the features are there which we are looking for in a drug. Looking in drugs. And all the drugs must have this type of features. Of course, different drugs have the different type of features. Painkillers have different features. Fevers, medicine have different features. Leukemia type of cancer have different features. Breast cancer drugs have different features. Antiviral COVID-19, right? Dengue, Zika virus type of tablet or injections which are available have that different type of properties and different type. And all have the compound, all have the structures. We need to identify. Is clear or not? Yes? Okay. So now you can say that this is also the features. These are the hydrogen bond donor. So I say now, this is antiviral drug. This is antiviral drug. Now it will be clear for you. I am telling you, I have designed one compound which work as an antiviral drug. Right? And that compound, antiviral drugs must have one hydrogen bond donor, one ring aromatic, one hydrophobic atoms, one hydrogen bond acceptor atoms, two hydrogen bond acceptor atom. Two hydrogen bond acceptor. Two are there, na? Can you see my PPT?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I say antiviral drug must have two hydrogen bond acceptors, one hydrogen bond donor, one ring atom, one hydrophobic atom. If we design computationally this drug, then we can say these are the antiviral drug. Yes or no? Otherwise, we cannot say. If any of these atoms are missing, suppose one hydrogen bond acceptor is missing, right? One hydrogen bond acceptor is missing in any compound. That compound cannot be antiviral drug. Because what is the condition is, have to design a drugs which must have two hydrogen bond acceptor, one hydrogen bond donor, one ring aromatic atoms, and one hydrophobic atom. What is the condition? If any of these atoms is missing, then we cannot say it's antiviral drug. It's clear? We need to identify these things. We have to visualize these things. We have to optimize these things, right? Once we identify the lead, then next step is the optimization. Then next step is the validation. That part I will be discussing tomorrow. Right? It's clear? So any of the properties is missing, that we cannot say it's an antiviral drug. You must understand these things really. Yes? It's clear? I have designed, I have shown to you, I have designed this antiviral drug, I am showing to you. And my antiviral drug must have this type of property. If any property is missing, that means I cannot say these are the antiviral drug. I have visualized it.
All drugs should have these properties.
Huh?
All drugs should have these properties before properties.
Yeah, your voice is not clearly audible, it's breaking.
All drugs should have these properties.
Yeah, all antiviral drug at least. Antiviral drug, not all drug. Antiviral drug must have. Maybe anti-cancerous drugs may have I say okay, I have designed now one anti-cancerous drug. Example is not there. I have designed one anti-cancerous drug now, right? And those anti-cancerous drugs also should have two hydrogen bond acceptor, one hydrogen bond donor, and ring atoms and hydrophobic atoms. If any of these things is missing, we cannot say it's anti-cancerous drug. Is clear? Is clear? Right? Clear, Thomas?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So generations of the pharmacophore models. So we do manually also and automatic also. There are two ways are there for constructing this pharmacophore model, manual and automatic constructions, right? So manual constructions in ligand based, we have to align plenty of molecule analogs, superimpose one by one. We'll see that similar properties are there or not. If dissimilar properties, any missing, we'll remove it. These are not a anti-cancerous drug or antiviral drugs. Is clear? So superimpose one of the methods. Another method is structure based. Receptor active sites also we have to find out. Active site, how it's oriented, what is the features. And automatic constructions are that where we map that quality, quantity, where these are the methods we'll be discussing later. It's a huge discussion is there. See, in computer aided drug design, if I teach you 2 years of time also, no, I cannot complete. 2 years continuous daily if I take class, no, I cannot complete computer aided drug design. Isn't it? Each heading, each topic is a one book. Are you getting or not? Okay. So now, yeah, Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Only 1 minute is there. So these are the is my PPT is visible? Okay. So now, like quality, we can measure it, and the quantity we can measure it. And these are that how we are doing these things, like selecting training set, test set, generating hypothesis, building QSR model, and all. So we'll be discussing later. So what are the applications of the pharmacophore modeling? Is that searching the databases, scaffold hopping of the structures, many structure we are finding, and virtual screening, we are finding that best molecule through the docking, and we do the ligand profiling, and we do also the post filterings and the fragment design and the predicted activity. These are the applications of the pharmacophore modeling. Are you getting or not? So activity prediction is there. We are designing the fragments, or like a drug, we are designing the drugs. And once we design the drugs, we are filtering the base drugs like a post filterings. And then we are making these things in the databases for that good compounds showing the good response, good desired activities. And then also we are seeing the interactions to the active sites, and we are also seeing that similar type of activities, similar type of scaffold in the structures, right? I've given the example like in one ring OH is there, another ring Cl is there, but their scaffolds are same. Are you getting or not? So scaffold hopping we are doing, and we are searching through the databases. De novo design we will discuss later, right? So now time is not there.